The sun had not yet risen, but the small neighborhood of Nima was already alive with noise. The hiss of oil frying in street pans, the cry of hawkers calling out their early morning wares, and the hum of trotro engines coughing to life. In one of the cramped peeling houses sat a young girl named Annabel Addo, thin like the broom she used to sweep her small compound, but with eyes that carried quiet fire. Annabel was 22. Life had been heavy since her father's death 5 years ago. He had been her calm, a man who made her laugh even when the lights went off and the food was only gari and groundnut. When he died, everything in their home shifted. Her mother, Maya, stopped being the gentle woman who sang gospel songs while cooking. She turned cold, silent, sometimes even cruel. Annabel didn't know when her mother stopped cooking for her. Maybe it was the day after her father's burial, or the day she finished SHS and came home with her certificate, proud but unsure of what next. Maya looked at her that day and said, "Now that you've completed school, go and find work. I am tired of feeding grown people." That was the last time she felt motherly warmth. Each morning, Annabel woke up before dawn to prepare for her cleaning job at a small company in Accra Central. It was not much, sweeping, mopping, emptying bins, but it paid something small, 350 Ghana cedis a month. She managed to buy soap, some gari, sometimes rice, and save a little. She walked to the station every morning, sometimes without breakfast, her slippers making that flapping sound against the dusty road. She didn't complain, she didn't gossip, she minded her business. Her mother, Maya, had not always been this cold. There was a time when they cooked together, laughing over burnt stew. But after Annabel's father's death, something inside her broke. She started drinking small shots of bitters in the evenings, sitting outside and muttering to herself. She stopped singing in the mornings. She stopped asking Annabel how her day went. She even stopped cooking. One evening, when Annabel returned home from her cleaning job, sweaty and hungry, she found the kitchen empty. She asked gently, "Ma, you didn't cook today?" Her mother didn't even look up from her chair. "You have hands. Use them." Annabel's lips trembled. "But I said use them." Maya snapped. "You've completed school. You are a woman now. Don't come and depend on me. I've done my part." Annabel cried that night. Not loud tears, but the kind that sit inside your chest and burn your throat. She realized she was on her own. Annabel was always the quiet type. Not shy, just quiet. She preferred the company of her thoughts to the noise of gossiping neighbors. Her father used to say, "Silence is not emptiness, Annabel. It is strength, learning to breathe." But her strength had been tested too many times since he died. Life in Nima wasn't kind to poor girls. The moment people realize you have no man to defend you, no father, no brother, no uncle, they began to treat you like your worth was smaller than dust. Annabel had learned to walk fast, to keep her eyes low, and to mind her business. But the world had a way of pulling you into its noise, even when you beg for peace. Every neighborhood had its own corner boys. Hers had Santo, Blackie, Kojo Blinks, and Wayo. Santo was their leader, tall, broad-shouldered, and the kind of arrogance that made mothers want their daughters. Blackie was his sidekick, always chewing gum loudly. Kojo Blinks wore sunglasses even at night, thinking he was some kind of a movie star. And Wayo? He talked like he owned the world. They spent their days sitting near the provision shop, blasting music and teasing anyone who passed. Their favorite victim was Annabelle. Annabelle had been a target since she started working. Maybe because she was quiet, maybe because she was thin, or maybe because they thought a girl without a father and without backing was easy to push around. Hey Slim Thick, you no go greet we? See how she dey form big woman. She no dey see we sef. Her face be like she hunger for 3 days. Annabelle, make I buy you cocoa ana? Annabelle ignored them every time, not because she was scared, but because she didn't want trouble. Trouble was expensive, and she couldn't afford it. Annabelle wasn't weak. She had learned long ago that silence wasn't the same as fear. Her father used to say, "A river doesn't make noise when it's deep." So she swallowed her anger, every insult, every laugh, and kept her peace. But peace, when tested too long, begins to fight back. One Saturday afternoon, the sun was hot enough to fry eggs on zinc roofs. Annabelle had just returned from work and she was washing her uniform outside. Her hands were sore, her stomach empty, but she was humming softly, a tune her father once taught her. Then came the laughter. She looked up slowly. The boys were at it again. "Hey Annabelle, you dey wash or you dey scrap your destiny?" Wayo teased. Santos swaggered closer. "You for smile small. You too serious. We dey try be friendly." Annabelle sighed and continued washing. "Please, I'm busy." Santos smirked. "Busy? You dey form? Every day you dey pass like soldier, no smile, no talk. Abi we no be human." "Please," she said again, voice flat. "I just want peace." Santo kicked her bucket playfully, but too hard. The laughter that followed pierced Annabelle's heart like a blade. Something snapped deep inside her chest. She stood up slowly, eyes locked on Santo. Her voice came out low and firm. "You think I'm afraid of you?" Santo laughed, spreading his arms. "You? Skinny girl like you? If I blow small breeze, you go fall." That was his mistake. Annabelle's hand moved before she could think. Bah! The slap echoed through the street. Santo stumbled, holding his cheek in disbelief. The others froze. Kojo Blinks whispered, "Santo, she slapped you." Santo's pride flared. He rushed at her, but Annabelle sidestepped and swung the bucket into his ribs. He gasped. She grabbed his shirt and kneed him sharply. He fell to the ground. Blackie lunged next. Annabelle threw the empty bucket at his face and kicked his shin. Wayo tried to grab her, but she twisted his wrist until he screamed. When it was over, 4 grown men were on the dusty ground, coughing, groaning, and shocked. Annabelle wiped sweat from her face and said quietly, "Next time, if you see me, greet me like a human being, not a joke." Then she walked away, calm, her slippers flapping softly. By evening, the whole neighborhood knew. The skinny girl beat the boys. Hey, na Santo Ankasa dey cry. She no simple o. She be lion wey wear girl skin. The story grew with every retelling. Some said she used juju. Others said her father's spirit entered her body. But everyone agreed on one thing. Nobody would ever disrespect Annabel again. Even her mother heard it. That night, she called Annabel softly. "Those boys no disturb you again?" Annabel shook her head. "No, ma." Her mother nodded slowly. "Your father would have liked that. Maybe now the world could know say you be strong." Annabel looked at her mother for a long time. It was the first kind thing she had said in years. From that day, the boys changed. Not all at once, but slowly. Santos started helping his mother sell sachet water in front of their house. He would nod respectfully whenever Annabel passed. "Good morning, Annabel." She would nod back with no malice in her eyes. Kojo Blinks began learning how to repair motorbikes. Blackie stopped hanging around the corner and joined a youth training program. People said Annabel's fight had humbled them, but Annabel didn't care for the praise. She was just happy for peace. Months later, Annabel got promoted at work. Her supervisor noticed how hardworking she was and made her the head of cleaners. The salary wasn't huge, but it was something. She began saving for something bigger, a dream. One night, while sitting under the street light, Santo approached her quietly. "Annabel, I want to say sorry." She looked up. "For what?" "For everything. We be stupid those days. You no deserve am." Annabel smiled faintly. "You've grown." He nodded. "You make me see say peace better pass pride." From that day, they became friends, just respectful, nothing more. Sometimes they would sit and talk about life, and Annabel realized that even people who hurt you can change if given a chance. 2 years later, Annabel stood proudly in front of her new shop, Annabel's Clean Hands Agency. It wasn't big, but it was hers. She had used her savings to buy cleaning equipment and uniforms. She hired young girls who were jobless, girls who were once like her. "Here," she would tell them, "we work with pride. No gossip, no laziness, and no disrespect." The girls adored her. They called her Madame Annabel, but she always said, "Just call me Annabel." Business grew. Her mother, seeing her success, began to soften. One morning, Maya helped Annabel pack food for her workers. When Annabel thanked her, she smiled faintly. "Maybe I wasn't a good mother, but I am proud of you now." Annabel's eyes glistened. "You still are." One bright morning, Annabel was sweeping in front of her shop when Santo passed by in a mechanic's uniform. He was sweaty and carrying a toolbox. He stopped and smiled. "Good morning, Madam Annabel." She smiled back. "Good morning, Santo." He looked at her shop signboard and said, "You make us all proud, you know." She chuckled. "And you fix people's cars well. That's enough." They laughed, and for the first time, Annabel felt peace. Real peace. The kind that comes after storms. That night, Annabel sat outside watching the sunset. She thought of her father, his soft wisdom, and his warm laugh. She whispered into the breeze, "Daddy, I did it. I fought for my peace." The wind rustled gently, like a hand on her shoulder, and as darkness fell, she smiled, because she had learned that quiet people are not weak. They are oceans, calm on the surface, but deep enough to drown your disrespect. Years had passed since the day Annabel stood up to the street boys and earned the respect she had been denied for so long. Life had changed. She was no longer the hungry, quiet girl people mocked. Now, she was Madame Annabelle, the proud owner of Annabelle's Clean Hands Agency. Her small cleaning company had grown, and she had 3 workers, all girls from the same hood, who had no hope. Every morning, they wore matching blue aprons and walked out smiling. Even Maya, who had stopped caring, now helped her pack food for her workers every day. The house that used to feel cold was now filled with the smell of stew, laughter, and peace. But success always attracts envy. A new cleaning company opened nearby, Fresh Sunshine Services. Their owner, a loud woman named Madame Doreen, started spreading rumors that Annabelle stole from her clients. "Don't mind that skinny girl," Doreen said at the market. "She just pretends to be humble, but she's too proud now that she has more money." Annabelle heard all the gossips. Her workers wanted to confront Doreen, but she stopped them. "Peace built me," Annabelle said calmly, "so I'll protect it." She continued with her work quietly. One afternoon, Fresh Shine Services got a big contract to clean a rich man's mansion. But on the cleaning day, Doreen's girl didn't show up. They had quit suddenly. Desperate, Doreen ran into the streets crying. Everyone watched, whispering. Annabelle passed by, carrying mops and buckets for her own job. She saw Doreen sitting on the pavement, face in her palms. Without thinking twice, she walked up to her. "Do you want help?" she asked softly. Doreen looked up, embarrassed. "You? After all I said about you?" Annabelle smiled. "We all fall sometimes. Let me help you stand." She gathered her team and helped Doreen clean the mansion that day. By evening, the work was done, and the client was impressed. The next morning, Doreen came to Annabelle's shop holding a small parcel. Inside was a brand new mop and a note that read, "For the woman who taught me that true strength is kindness." From that day, the two women became friends instead of rivals. Annabelle went home that night to find Maya cooking and humming softly. "Your father would have been proud of you," Maya said with a smile. "You fought your battles without losing your heart." Annabelle hugged her mother tightly and whispered, "Peace isn't just about silence, Ma. It's about doing right, even when the world does you wrong." And that was how Annabelle, the once skinny quiet girl who minded her business, became the woman everyone in her community looked up to. Not because she fought people, but because she chose peace every single time. The moral lesson of this story is that true power isn't in fighting back, it's in forgiving, standing tall, and helping others even when they once looked down on you. And also, never mistake silence for weakness, never judge strength by size, and never forget, peace is not given, it is earned and defended. Thank you for watching my video to the end. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to my channel for more attitude stories. Until next time, may your path be blessed.